Hello, hello, and welcome back. It is July 22nd, another Monday. But we have some good gaming news for you today. With me, joining in the hot seat is G-Talk.
Hey, everybody.
G, tell these fine folks what we're going to be talking about today.
Well, apparently you've been looking up free games because you'll be talking about free games, and then more free games, and free games. And then we'll talk about Epic because they have too much money. And then just to break the whole monotony of always being video games, we'll talk about the space station.
Well, you know, after the Steam sales have emptied my bank account, I need some free games.
Yeah, at least one of them you don't want.
Well, alright, let's start off with Outpost Zero. Will be free to play this week, at least until, I think, Thursday. And it's 30% off the purchase right now.
So let me get this right. You've been whining and bitching that I made you play Satisfactory. And now you're recommending people go check out Outpost Zero? Really?
Yeah, I do like some of these base building and exploration type sims, but one of the reasons I didn't care for Satisfactory is it's like you wander around, you get attacked by these creatures, and you're given like this little handheld zapper to try and hold everything at bay. And that thing sucks. But Outpost Zero looks to be more... it looks to be similar to a game I played called Grav, which Grav was kind of interesting and was kind of neat. I think it really needed a wider variety of some of the creatures and stuff that you would encounter, but it did have, you could travel between, say, the planet, and I think, oh man, I'm having to reach back in my memory, which is horrid, but I don't know if you traveled up to the moon or to other planets, but this looks similar to that. I mean, the world design, in some ways is very similar to other types of games like this, but it's still interesting, and it looks to have a pretty good variety of creatures from what I've seen thus far. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a try this week. I know, looking at the reviews on Steam, they have just under 300 reviews, and they're getting mixed reviews right now, but I'm curious to take a look at it.
Well, if you like this kind, play Boundless.
Yeah, Boundless looks really neat, and I think I just felt a little overwhelmed with Boundless. You log into Boundless and you go look at what people have built, and they are just eons beyond where you start. It's just like, oh my god.
Well, keeping up the whole free game theme that you seem to be going here, Google Stadia will be letting you rent a supposedly free game every month when you have the Pro plan.
Well, I wouldn't say rent per se. I guess I get what you're at because you're still paying for the service, but I guess the game gets unlocked in your account, and so long as you're paying for the monthly plan, you have access to any of the free games you acquired while you were paying for that monthly fee.
Yeah, that's called renting. Try stop paying for your house, see how quickly that disappears.
Yeah, well, one thing I'm not entirely clear on is you get these games, but there's besides the $9.99 plan, I think there's like a $4.99 plan, and then I thought there was supposed to be even a free version, or maybe that free version is just a trial. But at the lower versions, if you drop from, say, the $9.99 plan to the lower version that's not their quote-unquote pro plan, I'm wondering if you'll still have access to the titles you unlocked while you were in the pro plan.
Not according to the material that's out. The pro plan is required to get access to them. So any game that you unlocked while you're paying the pro plan, they stay in your account, but they become locked the moment you leave the pro plan, and then unlock again the moment you get back into it. But then, and this is the where they have the FOMO trigger, the fear of missing out trigger. If you're not on the pro plan for 2 months because you needed to save a bit of money, any game that unlocked in those 2 months are not available to you.
Well, that in a way makes sense, but what's confusing about this is they're saying that the first free game that's going to come with this is going to be Destiny, but unless that means that they're including Shadowkeep for free, that doesn't make any sense, because Destiny is going free to play in September of this year. So all of the story stuff that's happened throughout the first year of Destiny is going to be free to play even on Steam. So for them to say that Destiny is going to be the first game they're giving away, unless, like I said, that's the Shadowkeep DLC, that doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense.
Destiny doesn't make sense, so makes sense.
Had to get that dig in there, didn't you?
Yeah. Go play Destiny, or The Division. Can't tell them apart anyway.
Well, I would argue you can, but I feel like the argument would be falling on deaf ears.
I'm glad you admit anybody listening agrees with me.
No, I was talking about your ears.
Oh no, all the ears.
Continuing on the whole free game trend, if you've been paying attention to Epic's market, they've been giving away one free game every week and have pledged to keep doing that throughout the end of this year at least. However, for some reason, next week, this week now, they're giving away 2 free games. First one will be This War of Mine, and the second, a game called Moonlighter.
Don't know Moonlighter, but This War of Mine is worth getting into.
Was that one of the ones that you had a chance to talk to the developers about, or I'm trying to remember because it does sound familiar, but I can't picture it off the top of my head.
No, we didn't talk to This War of Mine. You might be thinking Lebensborn, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, that is the one I'm thinking of.
Very different game. But if you have Epic Store and all that, by all means, go and try these out. It's weird how it's free for a week, and if you don't manage to play it that week, too bad.
Well, that's the whole fear of missing out thing, right?
Yeah, but at least in this case, it gets interesting, because if you're in the game, if it's something that takes more than a few hours, I'm, 3 months into playing Andromeda. It's boring. Having a week to try it is nice, but then you go, ooh, shit, I want to continue.
Don't believe that's how it works. You get the game for free. It's not just a weekly free trial. The game is unlocked in your account from that point forward.
Okay, the one I tried disappeared.
Oh, really? Which one?
Can't remember. There was one I tried, it disappeared.
Now I'm going to have to go back and look at all the free games I had, because that's mostly what I've used the Epic Game Store for, is picking up the free titles and playing them.
But no, it's nice enough that they're doing it, but I wonder what the developers get out of it.
I've been wondering if Epic is paying the developers for the games they're giving away for free. I haven't seen anything on that yet.
Well, to the research mobile, my squire. But no, I'm just being my usual pessimistic self, because I fully expect something to go wrong, or something to be wrong, or something negative to happen.
Well, I guess only time will tell. But speaking of Epic, you had something else you want to bring to the table about Epic and their pockets full of money?
Yes, Epic, as we know, have too much money, because they keep telling us that. Literally every presentation they do. And they've set up this 100 million Epic Mega Grant program, where they give, basically to any project that is deserving, they give money up to some amount to help that project. Always gaming related, always, more or less always focused on tools and stuff that indies use, or things that can benefit in some form or fashion the industry as a whole, which is a nice thing. And they've announced they're giving 1.2 million to Blender, or the Blender Foundation. And for people who don't know, Blender is basically a free and open source 3D creation software that is used for pretty much everything. Not every game uses it, I should say, but a lot of game developers use it to create the graphics, animations, special effects for games, also for movies, etc. And the grant here is to, over 3 years, make Blender more professional. And that's literally what they call it. They call it the Professionalizing Blender Development Initiative. So that it's more in line with certain professional tools and easier perhaps to use for some indie devs.
That would be cool. I know that I looked at Blender once and was completely lost just looking at how to even get started. But I'm in no way used to using those specific tools. This is just coming from, being used to using things like, Photoshop and some other image editors. But yeah, Blender was above and beyond.
Oh yeah, I've had the same. I opened Blender, I opened a guide on how to use Blender, and after an hour I gave up.
Yeah. But you know what? I have seen some of the stuff that people have used Blender to make, and I guess once you figure out the tool set, it can be a nice tool set to use. So anything that makes that easier for people to use, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I said not necessarily easier, but to make it better. That's the whole idea, to making it more professional. Although with some of the personal tools that we're using for this little podcast, yeah.
All right, before we get out of here today, you wanted to bring up something about the Chinese space station?
Oh, just to break the whole monotony, but also go a little bit sci-fi, because a lot of gaming is sci-fi. And if you missed it, or if it missed you, the Chinese space station Tiangong-2, or Tiangong-1, has been deorbited. It was in orbit for about 1,000 days flying around the Earth, and it's done everything it needed to be. Nobody actually went there. I know there's what was that movie, Gravity, where Sandra Bullock shows up on it? It's not doable, but ignore that. Nobody went up to the space station, really. It was just there to test things. See that they can make it a space station and make it airtight, I guess. It was there, they've done it, they deorbited it, it landed somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, nicely controlled, unlike the first one, which sort of just fell out of the sky.
What do you say? If it missed you. Well, yeah, I'm kind of glad it missed me.
Oh yeah. Well, this is not to say that the Chinese don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I said the first one literally fell out of the sky. They lost control of it. It started spinning, and they had to just let it fall down. They could do nothing. But what was it, Skylab that fell down, 79 or something, and part of it landed on Australia, and the US has literally been fined for littering on Australia.
That's hilarious.
And the American government refuses to pay it. They won't pay their bill for dropping a space station on Australia.
Well, did they at least go in and clean it up?
Nope. They did demand the pieces back, which I don't think that it got.
I would have thought, yeah, they would have wanted to go in at least and clean it up so that they could have retrieved the equipment.
No, it was some panels. It was nothing important. Remember, Skylab was literally just a reused Saturn V main stage. Nothing fancy. But for people who are into space things, look forward to 2020, where the sequel to all of this will happen. The 𝙤𝙪𝙩𝙦 core module will be launching for the next space station in China.
All right, and those are all the things that we deemed worthy to bring to the news segment for this Monday. You might be wondering why you're not hearing anything about Comic-Con, because we did promise news on that. We decided to push that to the Wednesday regular podcast episode because there was so much of it. So you will be getting your Comic-Con updates from us. It'll just be this Wednesday.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
So enjoy the rest of your week, and until next time, this is Drac, and I'm out.
And this is G. Remember to like, subscribe, join us over on the Discord, do all the things, and we'll be talking to you, well, in a moment. Ciao.